Time to do my 25th episode. Let's see what I have. I want to do something special, and sadly I don't have a hollow foil cover. Okay, let's see. Sending this one to Shay. Sending this one to Vega. Sending this one to the last Angry Geek. Whoa, sending this crap to Linkara. Ah, here we are. Nightcrawler number 1. This is gonna be fun, man, fruits. Friends. I can't speak German. Roll the intro. Let's face it, there are a ton of X-Men out there. There are a ton of characters who could be classified as mutants, people born with the gene that gives them fantastic powers. In the Marvel Universe, these people who are hailed as the next step in human evolution are hunted by a society that fears and hates them. Despite that, the X-Men have endured for over 50 years at the time of this video. That's half a century of doing what they do best to save the world, with little credit or glory. Still, I do admit that it can be a bit daunting. That doesn't stop me from loving every minute of the X-Men cartoons, games, toys, and of course the comics I read. Many of the X-Men are my favorite mutants. I like Colossus, Shadowcat, Storm, the original X-Men, and yes, that includes Cyclops. He gets a bad rap, but he is actually a decent character when he isn't being vilified, or written like a complete and utter jerk. Yes, I said something nice about Cyclops. Shocking, right? People may not like him, but I do. That's really a discussion for another time. While those mutants are all awesome, it's Kurt Wagner, aka Nightcrawler, the German-born acrobat with blue fur, yellow eyes, and a devilish appearance, who is my favorite member of the X-Men. I already discussed his origin in the Giant-Sized X-Men number 1 review, where he was hunted by an angry mob, complete with torches and pitchforks. He was saved by Professor X, and he became a mainstay of the team for many years. Between then and now, he had risen from being a swashbuckling Errol Flynn type of character, who delighted in fighting baddies with a sword in each three-fingered hand, and one held by his prehensile tail, to a man of the cloth, who has sought a very spiritual existence and attempts to connect with God. This is a direct contrast to his demonic appearance. Nightcrawler number 1 is written by famed X-Men scribe Chris Claremont, who has written Kurt before, as he took over the X-Men book after Giant-Sized X-Men 1 saw a print in the 70s. And from there, the X-Men book skyrocketed, since he, along with Cockrum and Ween, redefined Marvel's mutants and made them a cultural icon. I'm not exaggerating. Under Claremont's unprecedented run from 1975 to 1991, we saw epic storylines such as the Phoenix/Dark Phoenix saga, Days of Future Past, The Mutant Massacre, and Inferno, among others. Suffice to say, Chris Claremont knows the X-Men as well as Stan Lee does at this point. Stan set it up, and Chris Claremont took the ball and ran with it. Yes, I'm geeking out a bit here. Quiet. It's my show. Claremont has written the X-Men off and on since he left the series, and now he's back. As luck would have it, Kurt is also back. From the dead. If I'm going to explain this, I'm going to have to do it right. Tiger, a reference to the X-Men animated series, if you please.
Previously on X-Men.
I still think it would have sounded better if you got Stan Lee to... Wait, hang on. Time out. You're saying that they killed off Nightcrawler, and then they brought him back later... Of course they brought him back later. It's just Marvel we're talking about here. Oh, did they do the whole, Dark Nightcrawler thing like they've done with every other character they killed off and bring back? You know, he's got white fur, and he's got angel wings, and every time he comes in, he goes, FMAB!
Well, they did kind of replace him with a Kurt from another reality. This is the original one.
That's bizarre.
Don't you voice a cartoon tiger?
Technically speaking, he's not a cartoon.
Leave me out of this. I don't want any part to do with your comic book.
I gotta deal with this.
Besides, you know...
ever have days like that. Never mind. Okay, so Kurt initially died in the X-Men storyline called Second Coming, where the female young mutant named Hope Summers, was the only salvation for mutant kind during their darkest hour. Ha! Bet you thought I was going to say Hope was the only hope for mutant kind, didn't you? Wait, I just did. Anyway, Kurt squares off against a human-like sentinel named Bastion and fuses with his arm as he teleports away. He manages to teleport Hope away from the battle too, but it's too late. Kurt had died. Or did he? Sometime after Kurt's death, and the death of Professor X, little creatures that resemble their fallen comrade, called BAMFs, turn up around the the Jean Grey School of Higher Learning. Professor Logan, your obsession with Jean knows no bounds, does it? Eventually, it was revealed that these little troublesome guys were trying to build a portal to heaven. I always thought heaven had a stairway. Anyway, the little blue Jawas eventually gathered enough stuff to build a portal to heaven, and the amazing X-Men team, with Firestar now as a member, realized that something was going on in heaven. I'm sure Jack Kirby can take care of it. I mean, he is God in the Marvel Universe, after all. Actually, what ends up happening is Kurt's father, the red devilish mutant named Azazel, tried to overthrow Angel Land, and only Pitt can save the day. Unfortunately, Pitt is a video game character, so Kurt is left to fight his father. However, the BAMFs sent for help in the form of the amazing X-Men. At the end of the struggle, Kurt uses the BAMFs and his own father to restore himself to life and ensure that Azazel can never invade heaven again, though there is a cost, as he is now forever tied to his father. He and his soul could never return to heaven. He doesn't share that bit of information with his friends, as they're all overjoyed to have him back. Some more so than others. Easy there, Colossus. You don't want to send him back to the hereafter so soon, do you? Kurt deals with the changes that have gone on in his absence, like Cyclops being more of a jerk than usual, and the death of Xavier. Nightcrawler is quickly reinstated to the team, and eventually Marvel Comics creates an ongoing title starring the Fuzzy Elf. Claremont knows his X-Men. Claremont knows Nightcrawler. Let's see if this combination strikes like lightning once again in Nightcrawler #1. This cover is very cool. Kurt's in the center where you want your title character to be, and around him we see aspects of his life, including his friends and some of the events he missed. It's like it's catching him up on what's been going on without overwhelming him. Our story begins with an awesome splash page. His narration boxes explain what I just said a few minutes ago about dying and coming back. Nice setup, Claremont. Also, yes, I'm hanging on to this page for a bit longer because, wow, this is an awesome shot. Kurt is actually in the middle of a training session in the Danger Room with Wolverine. Wolverine as headmaster. I still can't get over that one. As Kurt spars with Logan, we see Kurt thinking about how his friend lost his healing factor. Hang on. Wolverine lost his healing factor? I remember like 20 years ago he lost his adamantium. Poor guy can't catch a break, can he? Observing the training session are X-Men members Beast, Storm, and Dr. Cecilia Reyes, who are indicating that Kurt really shouldn't make Wolverine mad. Storm says, oh, Logan knows how to control himself because he's a teacher now. And, of course, snicked, out come the claws. Without his healing factor, Logan is in extreme pain. This isn't helped by the berserker raid he's in. Kurt dodges the blows, and when Storm arrives, she summons a rainstorm to soothe her friend enough for the doctor to check on his hands. Wolfie tries to play the tough guy act as Kurt and Aurora talk. He admits that he's not used to seeing his friend bleed, and remembers him to be someone the team could depend on. Aurora states that he is now mortal. Aurora, being the wise woman she is, reminds Kurt that he has also bent the rules of life and defied fate. She says that like Wolverine, perhaps the time has come for him to decide who he is and face the consequences. Kurt takes a walk around the school and muses about how much has changed since he joined. There are so many students now, and his mind flashes back to the time when he joined many years ago. It seems like only yesterday to our friend here. Kurt snaps out of his daydream and comes across several of the new students at Xavier's. The Jean Grey School. This is going to take some getting used to. He talks to a student named Mercury, who asks if everything is as he remembers, and he says it's good to be back, when suddenly he gets a telepathic call, and talks to the astral form of Rachel Summers, Scott and Jean's daughter from an alternate timeline. Don't ask me to explain that one. Just don't. It turns out that Kurt is joining the teaching staff, and Rachel offers to talk to him about the other students. Back at Kurt's place, the little Bamps are watching as he and Rachel reconnect. Since they were teammates in Excalibur, he asks how their friend Kitty is doing. She says how much has changed, and that it makes one want to hold on to the things that have stayed the same.
Speaking of someone with daddy issues.
Rachel says that she has to go, and promises to talk more later when Kurt picks up a picture of an old flame, Amanda Sefton, his foster sister / girlfriend / kick-ass sorcerer. Speaking of Amanda, she arrives home and finds Kurt waiting for her with an army of Bamps and a small stuffed Bamf, which I really hope never was a real one. Also, you gotta love that pose. Elf, for a man of the cloth, you are smooth. Amanda is naturally happy to see him and plans to celebrate.
I hope nothing ruins this magical reunion. Dang it!
Yeah, someone who looks like he came from the 90s broke a poor defenseless window and has his sights on Amanda. Or is it Kurt? Either way, he's racking up the property damage. Doesn't he know how insane rent is in New York? Oh, so it looks like he is after Amanda as he covers her some kind of coils. Kurt grabs her and they teleport to the relative safety of a pool.
Huh. Wet fuzzy elf. That's gotta smell.
The two argue like brother and sister. Well, they sorta are. Though they date. At least he isn't dating Rogue. I don't think Mama Mystique would like that. Amanda clearly wants to fight the guy because, well, he broke a poor defenseless window. Kurt says that she is the target and bamfs away, leaving her to stew in the pool. Topside, the Bamps are facing off against the guy who calls himself Tri-Mega.
I tried Mega once. All I got was a fabulous looking Amphros.
Soggy Kurt shows up and tries to hit Mega to no avail. Tri-Mega charges up a repulsor blast, and it looks like he's in deep trouble. Of course he teleports away, like he'd willingly get shot. He then proceeds to teleport around him as he fights him. It's important to note that when Kurt teleports, it smells like fire and brimstone, according to writers. So now he's wet, and smells like fire and brimstone. Smelly elf is smelly. Kurt's attacks aren't working, and the building starts to buckle from the damage Tri-Mega is causing. Seriously, I don't think Kurt could do this by himself. The Bamps save him, and this distracts Kurt long enough to be hit. The man says that the only thing he can do is run, when Kurt formulates a better plan. This time, he's going to use his mask against him and send him flying to the already unstable wall. He's down, but he isn't out. Amanda arrives in her day tripper getup and is concerned for Kurt and what's left of her apartment. They talk about how the guy's knocked out and wonders why the metalhead here came after her. Amanda says that this guy was all about high tech and not magic, like her. Mysteriously, he teleports away once Kurt wonders about how to best respond to this new threat to his foster sister / lover. Amanda figures that she may not be the only person in danger and wants to check on Magali, her mother. Kurt wants to call in the X-Men, and Amanda says that this is family business. Kurt then offers to help figure out what's going on. Our comic ends with Amanda Sefton teleporting her, Kurt, and the Bamps away, saying, "Racing across the globe to save the day once again? It is, as they say, some things never change."
It's true, Kurt. Some things never change. Like Chris Claremont's awesome writing. Let's take a closer look at Nightcrawler #1.
In a word, wow. This comic is pretty good. I know I'm a huge Chris Claremont fan, and I have been singing his praises throughout this video. There's a reason for that. Claremont knows his X-Men. He gets them in a way that not even Stan Lee, their creator, did. He nails the character he helped to define all those years ago, and I especially love the winks and nods to the stories he wrote, and of course, X-Men lore. Those subtle hints really stood out for me in this book. Claremont may not have created Kurt, but he did explore his religious side and his run on Excalibur and Uncanny X-Men back in the day, It remains to be seen in this book and in Amazing X-Men if there are consequences, both theological and physical, that await Kurt in his choice to come back to life. Regardless of what happens, Claremont has shown great love for the character here once again. Aside from the story rightfully making me mark out like a crazy person, there's a hidden depth to the story that I like. Kurt is now back from the great beyond and has to find himself and his place on a team that has changed so much since he has been gone. Before the big fight in the book, we saw him talk to Rachel, a friend from his days in Excalibur, and he goes to his foster sister to see another link to his past. Sure, things have happened to prevent more deep thoughts from occurring, but the character's rationale is being written in such a way that Kurt is trying to hold on to the past, while at the same time trying to readjust to the strange new world he finds himself in. For example, he went so far as to reunite with his longtime flame, Amanda, who was a link to his past, and could help him adjust to the present, just before they were thrust into a new adventure. That is most likely what the tone of this book will be. Kurt needs to find himself again, and get in touch with his past, and learn that things have indeed changed for the X-Men since he has been gone. Without going into much detail, we know Wolverine is now the head of a school, and is at odds with Cyclops, who is in charge of another school of mutants. One could argue that the character was the heart of the team, and to see two good friends fight like this must have definitely taken its toll. I have a feeling that with Claremont doing the writing chores for this book, we're going to explore that aspect and the religious implication of what Kurt has done, and probably have some great fun along the way. One could only hope that with Nightcrawler back in the land of the living, he could be the one to bring the X-Men back together after the events of Schism, where the team was split in two. He was their spiritual center in years gone by, as well as the heart of the team. Could he be the one to make Cyclops and Wolverine play nice in the sandbox, or is the rift too great? Of course, that is all up to the writers. They are deciding where to take the fuzzy elf. I, for one, will be watching and reading this comic because, at last, one of my favorite X-Men characters is back, and it's a whole new world for him and readers to explore.
Much like Spidey in the last video, Nightcrawler is back and is ready for action in a book I highly recommend. So, check it out. You won't be disappointed. Thanks for watching Comic Showcase. Thanks for celebrating 25 episodes with me. And I'll see you in the funny pages.